Yes, yes, yes. That's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And it's the latest news from Tyson Fury. Okay, so let's line this up. Okay, so Tyson Fury sends a message. He declares that he's got 3 fights left. He asserts that after those 3 fights, he retires. Let's line this up nicely. Okay, so Tyson Fury has declared that he's got 3 fights left and named his ideal opponents. These are guys on Tyson Fury's hit list. 1. Deontay Wilder. 2. Anthony Joshua. And the 3rd, Dillian White. And in this video, we go on to break down Tyson Fury's choices and why. Okay, so the first one is Deontay Wilder. And let's see what he has to say. That's a nice lilac suit. Nice lilac suit. Okay, so Tyson Fury says he only has 3 fights left and he knows exactly who he wants. First up will be Deontay Wilder, February 22nd, with Fury desperate for revenge after their first fight was scored a draw. Many pundits, fans, and ex-fighters thought the Gypsy King was robbed of victory back in December 2018. Once that is over, I want 2 huge domestic clashes. First, against Anthony Joshua. And secondly, oh, where's the picture? I think I got a picture. Yeah, first against Anthony Joshua. And secondly, they're talking about domestic clashes. Secondly, against Dillian White. Okay. Where are we? Okay, so the 31-year-old so-called lineal champ said Usyk isn't on the list. It's a no name, no one's interested, and it doesn't make any money. So what would I want to fight him for? He's a small cruiserweight, doesn't speak good English, and he's not setting anything alight. I want the big fights, and that isn't one of them. In Ukraine, he might be a big star, but Britain and America aren't interested in some Ukrainian boxer. Made me chuckle with that one. He talks about his method of keeping his testosterone pumping, which I have no interest in going into. Okay, he says, then he wants to take on, I want to take on the WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO heavyweight champion. And that's Anthony Joshua. Seen, pictured on the screen. What's going on here? Why can't it move? Okay, let's line this up. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, and if Fury beats Wilder in a few weeks, it will mean he defends the green belt against the body snatcher Dillian White. Fury added, he's been mandatory for 2,000 days and hasn't had a shot. When I beat Wilder, I'll give him a shot. And to prepare him for his big shot at Wilder, Fury revealed an explicit method of preparation, a way of keeping his testosterone up. I'm not covering that. I'm not covering that. Okay, so let's scroll on, mosey on down, see what we got. Okay, what we got here? All right. Okay, so we got the breakdown. Nationality, nickname, age. 34 versus 31. 43 fights for Wilder. 30 for the Gypsy King. 42-1 for Wilder. 29 for the Gypsy King. 0 losses. 1 draw. 41 KOs, 20 KOs. 6'7" versus 6'9". 15 stone 7 pounds versus 8 stone 1 pound. 83-inch reach versus 85-inch reach. Orthodox stance, switch hitter. Although typically, naturally orthodox for the Gypsy King. Okay. Right, so what else? What else do we go on to say? Scrolling on. We're scrolling on. Okay, so that's the thrust of the article. That's the thrust of the article. Fury says, after Deontay Wilder, he wants Anthony Joshua. And then the body snatcher. Fury says a lot of things, but factually, Dillian Whyte, if Fury wins, Dillian Whyte would be the natural next fight. But this is the WBC we're talking about. This is the WBC. And I can easily see them saying to Tyson Fury, I can easily see them saying, well, yeah, you go ahead and pick. You know, you haven't got a mandatory yet. Dillian Whyte is not your mandatory, so go ahead and pick somebody. You got a year to 18 months before you have to fight a mandatory. So, it's just occurred to me. I've just realized that it hasn't been talked about. I haven't heard anybody talking about it. The realization has just struck me. Dillian Whyte would be quicker to get a championship fight if Deontay Wilder wins. Damn. Well, how does that work? Well, you see, Dillian Whyte is Deontay Wilder's mandatory opponent. And that's scheduled for, well, it should have been this year. But with the adverse test findings by UKAD in a sample which turned out to be contaminated in their own labs, Dillian Whyte was up for investigation. UKAD conducted the investigation and found that contamination occurred in their labs. Nothing to do with Whyte, the body snatcher. So, in the meantime, the WBC, even though Dillian Whyte were passed, even though VADA testing had Dillian Whyte clear and good to go, and VADA is the testers of the WBC. That's the testers of choice by the WBC. Ain't really got much to do with VADA. So even though he came back clear by VADA, the WBC took the unusual step of declaring that Dillian Whyte was no longer their interim champion and no longer their mandatory for his championship spot. But they said if he was cleared, then he would resume his position. But they didn't do that. He regained his position as interim champion, but they altered his mandatory status Instead of being mandatory for 2020, they pushed him back a year to 2021 without explanation. Utterly ridiculous and bizarre. He should have been returned to status quo. He should have been returned to his previous status, which was mandatory for 2020. But no, they pushed him back to 2021 and they haven't brought it forward. So, if Deontay Wilder wins, Dillian Whyte is his mandatory for 2021. But if Tyson Fury wins, then I would imagine the process would start all over again. Dillian wouldn't maintain his February 21st mandatory position, but I guess he would have to lobby for that. Maybe legal proceedings would have to come into play. I don't know. Cost a lot of money with uncertain results. The result would be uncertain. It wouldn't be a given that they would enforce, that his 2021 mandated position would be enforced. That would not be a given. So there you have a wrinkle which I only just realized whilst in the shooting of this video. Okay, so what say you? It's the Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, it's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon. Have your say. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio, and I'm out.